Hello friends. So as part of our SSC JE mock examination, we will be doing our detailed video solutions. So I'll be taking about surveying and we'll see some select questions from our SSC JE mock examination. Thank you guys.
Hello everyone. Let's see the solutions of GTE question paper for SSC JE mega mock test. So geotechnical engineering, there are around 10 questions are there. Now let's see the solutions for each one. So a rectangular footing, so given is rectangle with a short dimension to the long dimension B by L is placed at a depth of 2 meters in a saturated clay having an unconfined compressive strength of 100. So what is the unconfined compressive strength, which is 2 times of the undrained shear strength, that is given as 100. So the cohesion will be 100 by 2, which is 50 kilopascals. According to scheme 10, the net ultimate bearing capacity. Mind you, in the case of bearing capacity, there are various type of theories. Terzaghi, Prandtl, Rankines, Meyerhoff, and one of the theory is Skempton. Skempton theory is exclusively for the clays only, and he mentioned that the net ultimate bearing capacity is nothing but CNC, and that C into NC is 5 into 1 plus 0.2 D by B into 1 plus 0.2 B by L. Okay. So as everything is here, the C is there already, which is 50 into 5 into 1 plus 0.2, D is 2 meters, width is 1 meter, into 1 plus 0.2, width is 1 meter, length is 2 meters. If you see 0.2 into 2, 0.4, this comes as a 1.4. And 2, this is 0.1, this comes as 1.1. So 1.4 into 5, this is 7. So eventually this is like 50 into 7 into 1.1. 57s are 350 into 1.1, that going to be 385 kilopascals. So the answer is from the given options, option C. You should not go with the 350, you have to go with the 385 because the given is a rectangle. Next, so see this question. An undrained triaxial test, undrained triaxial compression test is carried on a saturated clay sample under a cell pressure of 100. So given is undrained test on clay. So when I say undrained test, we are not allowing the water to go out. If you don't allow the water to go out, between particle to particle water is there, so friction will not be there. So phi value is equals to 0 degrees. Under a cell pressure of 100 kilopascals, the sample failed at a deviatoric stress of 200. The cohesion of the given sample. Whenever the phi is 0, then Cu is equals to major minus minor by 2, which is nothing but deviatoric stress by 2. So half of the deviatoric stress. And the deviatoric stress at which soil got failed is 200. So which is 200 by 2. The correct answer is 100 kilopascal. For better reference, I have already clearly explained. When phi 0, Cu is the change in like major minus minor by 2. If a C0, phi is equals to sine inverse of sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by sigma 1 plus sigma 3. So from the given options, the correct answer is option B, which is 100 kilopascals. Next, the virgin compression curve for a particular soil is shown in the figure. So this is a compression, this is a log curve, this is a log curve. So because you see the line, that is a log curve. And what is the compression index? Compression index, there is nothing but slope between any 2 points. Change in void ratio delta E by log scale. So log base 10 sigma dash by sigma naught dash. What is the change in void ratio? 1.5 minus 1 by, and log base 10, that is a 10 by 1. See, 1.5 minus 1.5, log 10 is 1. So the correct answer is 0.5. So this is direct answer. See, the graph when they give the straight line, that is a semi-logarithm graph. If they would have given a curve following a non-linear curve, that is a linear graph. I mean, that is on the normal axis. But this is a linear, so that is a log axis. The correct answer is option B, 0.5. Okay. Now, following data were obtained while conducting the liquid limit test. The plastic limit was found to be, this is a WP, was found to be 26.8. Now, what is the plasticity index? The plasticity index is WL minus WP. You know the plastic limit. Now, what is a liquid limit? Liquid limit is defined as the moisture content at which number of blows required to close the groove is 25. From the liquid limit test, wherever the number of blows are 25, that moisture content, this is known as liquid limit. So now substitute 56.8 minus 26.8. The correct answer is 30%. So from the given options, the correct answer is option C, 30%. Next, for undisturbed sampling, the area ratio for a thin-walled sampler. Generally, whenever the area ratio is less than or equals to 10%, we call it as a undisturbed sample. That is an undisturbed sample. But from the given details, if you observe the given details, the nearest answer is 15%. Actually, no option is there, but from the given options, the nearest answer is 15%. Next, lacustrine soils are the soils. See, in the case of the water, there are 3 different types of soils: lacustrine soils, alluvial soils, marine soils. Lacustrine soils are the soils that got deposited at the bed of the lake. So, transported by rivers and streams? No, that is alluvial soil. That is alluvial soil. Transported by glaciers? That is a glacier deposit. Deposited in seabed? That is a marine soils. Deposited in the lake bed? That is the lacustrine soils. And the soil sample is having a specific gravity of 2.6 and void ratio of 0.78. The water content in percentage to fully saturate the soil at that void ratio. See, they have given the void ratio. Degree of saturation, fully saturated means SR 100%. What they're asking is water content. So straightforward question, Sevag. E into SR is equals to W into G. So what they're asking about the as water content, right? So now, yeah, if you see the void ratio is 0.78 by, this is 1, G value is 2.6. So multiply with 100. That is nothing but the water content, right? So yeah, now it's like 2.6 into 2.63, 7.8. 2.63 is 7.8. This is going to be 0.3. 0.3 into 100, that comes as 30%. So straightforward question, the correct answer is option B. So now there's a last question. If the seepage is taking place through a cohesionless soil, the grains will be lifted. See, as long as I is less than or equals to IC, which is nothing but critical hydraulic gradient, soil is safe. Whenever the hydraulic gradient exceeds the critical hydraulic gradient, soil fails by piping failure. So piping failure is nothing but lifting of the particles. What is the critical hydraulic gradient? Critical hydraulic gradient means G minus 1 by 1 plus C or G minus 1 into 1 minus N. But from the given options, so I can see option A and option B as I greater than, but if you see the correct response, the correct answer is option A, I greater than G minus 1 by 1 plus C. Whenever the hydraulic gradient exceeds the critical hydraulic gradient, piping failure will occur, particles will start to lift up. Okay, so these are the questions from the geotechnical engineering. I hope you have attempted these questions, and if there is any doubts, I hope those doubts might have been cleared by now. If you still have any doubts, you feel free. You can mail to us and you can message to us. So I'll give you reply as early as possible.
Hello dear students, myself Somashekar, RCC faculty, working in AC Engineering Academy. I will give detailed solutions for mock test for SSC JE. Let us check. First question, as per IS 456-2000, the minimum reinforcement in slabs if mild steel is used in design. In slabs, actually, minimum reinforcement decided based on type of steel. Suppose if it is HYST bar, For HYST bars, minimum reinforcement recommended by IS code is 0.12% of BD. For mild steel bars, minimum reinforcement recommended in slabs is 0.15% of BD. Not only for slabs, you just check out for beams, for a column, for footings, right? For other members also you can check it, beams, columns and footings also. Minimum reinforcement, one question compulsory for the exam. Okay, here I have given only for slab. Okay, right. Come to the next question. For this question, option C correct. Then move to next question. A RC column of size 200 mm by 400 mm, the effective length of column is 4 meter, is a long column, short column, medium column, pedestal. Whether it is a short column or long column or pedestal, we will decide based on slenderness ratio. Okay, let us find the slenderness ratio here. Slenderness ratio be the effective length to least lateral dimension of the column. Effective length of column given that 4 meters. You can write down in mm, 4000 mm upon least lateral dimension. Here we have two dimensions for a column, 200 mm and 400 mm. Take least dimension. Least dimension is 200 mm. So simplify, 2 zeros cancel, 2 ones are 2 20s are. So lambda value we are getting 20. If lambda greater than 12, then it is a long column. If lambda less than 12, then it is a short column. If lambda less than or equal to 3, then it is pedestal. Okay, na? Pedestal, lambda less than or equal to 3. Short column, lambda less than or equals to 12, but more than 3. Lambda greater than 3, but less than or equal to 12. Long column, lambda greater than 12. In our question, we are getting lambda greater than 12. So, correct answer is A. Option A is correct. Then come to the next question. As per IS 456-2000, the minimum thickness at the edge of footing when the footing rests on piles. It is important where footing rests. If footing rests on soil, minimum thickness at the edge of the footing to be maintained 150 mm. If footing rests on piles, minimum thickness maintained at the edge will be 300 mm. Here given, both options given, 150 mm given, 300 mm given. It is true if footing rests on soil. Footing rests on soil. Rests on soil. Suppose if footing rests on piles, footing rests on piles, 300 mm is the minimum thickness at the edge of the footing we have to maintain. Here clearly mentioned footing is resting on piles. So, minimum edge thickness should be 300 mm. Option D is correct. Then move to next question. A RC simply supported beam of effective span 20 meter, the span to effective depth ratio as per IS 456-2000. My dear, span to depth ratio. We need to check two things. Number one, what is a span? Number two, what type of beam given? Here given beam is simply supported. Given beam is simply supported and given span is 20 meters. It is more than 10 meters. If it is more than 10 meters, L by D value 10 upon span into 20. 10 upon span into 20. Okay. Here span given that 20 meter. 20 into 20. So 20 cancel. L by D value we get 10. Okay. Suppose if span is given less than 10 meter or up to 10 meter, for simply supported beam, L by D ratio 20. Okay. For the given question, option B is correct. Option C correct if span is less than 10 meter, but given span is more than 10 meter. So, you can find L by D ratio like this, 10 upon span into 20. Okay. Right. Move to the next question. The partial safety factor used for concrete and steel as per IS 456-2000 respectively are. First you check it Which material given? Concrete. Next, steel. Order important here. Okay. Under limit state method, partial safety factor used for concrete 1.5, for steel 1.15. Here given 1.5 and 1.15. Here given 1.15 and 1.5. Order important. First we have to take for concrete. For concrete 1.5. For steel 1.15. Option C is correct. Under limit state method, under working stress method, factor of safety used for concrete 3, for steel 1.78 or 1.8. Option B correct if it is given working stress method, but here given clearly limit state method 456 2000, right? So it's a limit state method. Under limit state method, option C correct. Okay, right. Moving to next question. The modular ratio in elastic method for M20 grade concrete is, options given A, B, C, D. See, modular ratio definition is highest Young's modulus to least Young's modulus. General definition we follow under elastic theory, but in working stress method we don't use Young's modulus of steel to Young's modulus of concrete. We use an empirical formula. What is that? That is M equal to 280 upon 3 times sigma CBC. This sigma CBC depends on concrete grade. Here given concrete grade M20. For M20, sigma CBC value will be 7 megapascal. 7 megapascal. So you can write it is 280 upon 3 times sigma CBC. So you will get 280 upon 21. Simplification difficult for me, so I go for approximation. How? 280 upon, instead of 21 I can write down 20, just for simplification. 0 0 gets cancel, 2 1s are 2 4s, 2 14s are. So answer is very close to 14, not exactly 14, very close to 14, but less than 14. So only one option is here, very close to the 14, that is option C. So this answer will be very close to 13. Okay, got it? Right. Next question. Go to next question. A RC rectangular beam of width 300 mm. They have given width 300 mm and effective depth 500 mm. Effective depth given 500 mm. M25 grade concrete given, FE 500 steel grade given. So it is FCK and it is FY. The minimum area of tension reinforcement in beams. My dear, minimum tension reinforcement in beams recommended by IS code. We can get from this formula. Minimum reinforcement we can get from this formula. AS upon BD equals to 0.85 upon Fy. Now substitute AS upon B. What is B here? 300 into D, effective depth 500, equal to 0.85 upon Fy. Steel grade given 500. So Fy value will be 500. Okay. Now simplify. 500 gets cancelled. You'll get from this AS equal to 0.85 into 300. So you can write like this, 85 into 3. 85 into 3 means 3 5s are 15, 1, 3 8s are 24, 25, 255 mm square. Okay. Option C is correct. Option C is correct. Okay. Right. Then moving to the next question. For a RC beam, if the maximum bending moment is more than moment of resistance of a singly reinforced beam, okay, then it is designed as, my dear, maximum bending moment more than moment of resistance. Therefore, it is over reinforced section. They are not asking which section is it. They are asking which section you will design. Actually, they have asked that it is designed as, if bending moment is more than moment of resistance, then the section is designed as. Actually, it is over reinforced section, but we never design over reinforced section because nature of failure is sudden, because in over reinforced section, concrete fails first. You know that concrete is a brittle material, it leads to sudden failure. Okay, we don't design it, we go for redesign. Actually, we have two options. One is we go for redesign, other one is we go for doubly reinforced beams. In these options, they have not given doubly reinforced beam, so we go with the redesign. Okay, if it is over reinforced section, we go for redesign. We don't design it, we go for redesign. Okay, right. Option D correct. Moving to next question. As per IS 456-2000, the anchorage value of standard U-type hook is, my dear, for standard U-type hook or 180 degrees bend, anchorage value of tension reinforcement is, it is a 16 times diameter, 16 times diameter. Okay, maybe they will ask these three: 90 degrees bend for a tension steel and 180 degrees bend for a tension steel, for a tension steel, for a tension steel. Okay, for 90 degrees bend, anchorage value will be 8 times diameter of the bar. For 180 degrees bend, anchorage value should be 16 times diameter of the bar. Okay, fine. Coming to the stirrups, for a stirrup, there is a chance to ask for 135 degrees bend, what is the anchorage value? Anchorage value should be 6 times diameter of the bar. You just remember these, these three, excuse me, you just remember these three. You will expect any one of these, okay, for exam, okay na? Right. Then coming to the next question, the maximum shear stress in concrete depends upon, very, very important, you will expect in exam, either tau c depends on or tau c max depends on. Tau c means design shear strength of concrete. Design shear strength of concrete depends upon concrete grade, and percentage of longitudinal tension reinforcement. It depends on two parameters, concrete grade and percentage of longitudinal tension reinforcement. But tau c max depends upon only concrete grade. Tau c max depends upon only concrete grade. Don't confuse. Read question twice. Whether it is asked maximum shear strength of concrete or design shear strength of concrete. If it is asked design shear strength of concrete, obviously it depends on concrete grade and percentage of longitudinal tension steel. Suppose if it is asked maximum shear stress, then definitely tau c max depends upon only concrete grade. Here they have given very clearly maximum shear stress in concrete. So it depends on only concrete grade. Here you observe they have not given concrete grade. From concrete grade, we can get characteristic strength of concrete. So option A is correct. Okay. Suppose M20 grade of concrete is there. For this M20 grade of concrete, M refers to mix, that number refers to characteristic cube compressive strength of concrete. Simply we call it as characteristic strength of concrete. Here instead of giving grade of concrete, they have given characteristic strength of concrete, meaning one and the same. So option A is correct. Then moving to the next question. As per IS 456-2000, the equivalent shear force in beams, it is a direct formula. Equivalent shear force equals to Vu plus Vt. Vt we can write down as 1.6 Tu upon B. Here you observe they have given 2, don't confuse, plus is required. Okay, Vu plus 1.6 Tu upon B, where Vu is factored shear force, Tu is factored torsional moment, B be the width of the beam. Okay, direct formula. Next question. Yeah, that's it. I hope you understand, right? All the best. Hello dear students. Here we will see detailed solutions for SSC JE exam from the subject building materials. Very first question from building materials. Expanding cement does not have any unsound effect on concrete as it expands significantly after setting and hardening. Second one, masonry cement is suitable for concrete preparation as it contains significant amounts of hydrated lime. My dear, statement 1 is false. Expanding cement does not have unsound effect. No, this is wrong. So, 1 is wrong, even 2 also wrong. 1 and 2 both are wrong. But they are asking which are the correct statements. Neither 1 nor 2. Option D is correct. Okay. Then moving to next question. Which of the following statements is not correct? Is not correct regarding high alumina cement. A, options given here. A, it can be used for constructions in cold weather conditions. Yes, it is true. It can be used for the internal lining of kilns, chimneys and furnaces. True, because it has higher chemical resistance. It can be used for the construction of chemical factories. Right, it is also correct, but we want incorrect statement. Not correct regarding high alumina cement. All are correct. Option D, none of the above. All are correct here. Option D. Option D is the answer. Coming to the next question. Consider the following statements. Slacking of lime is vigorous if proportion of clay impurities in the lime are less than 5%. It is true. Slacking of lime is an exothermic process which is responsible for attainment of strength of lime. No, it is not true. It is false. Second statement is false. Second statement is false. Here you observe second is there in A, second is there in B, second is there in D. Wrong. So, option C is correct. For the given question, option C is correct. Okay. Slacking is nothing but adding water to the lime, right? That process. Okay. It is not responsible for setting time, not responsible for hardening. So, option C correct. 2 is wrong. Rest of the statements are correct. Next one. Mortar prepared from cement gives better workability than mortar prepared from lime. This statement is false. Lime mortar, my dear, gives the better workability compared to cement mortar. So, statement 1 is false. Statement 2, mortar prepared from cement sets and hardens faster than mortar prepared from lime. It is true. It is true. So, 2 is true. Option B is correct. Option B is correct. Which of the above statements are correct? Option B. Second statement alone correct. Okay. Next question. Flow table test is used to assess the flow properties of self-compacting concrete in the absence of any obstruction. No, false. VB consistometer test is used to assess the flow properties of self-compacting concrete in the presence of construction. No, false. My dear, VB test and flow table test are used to find the workability of concrete, no doubt, but for ordinary concrete, not for self-compacting concrete. For self-compacting concrete, we use funnel test. V funnel test is used, right? So, 1 is false, 2 also false, neither 1 nor 2. Neither 1 nor 2. Option D correct. Okay. Then coming to the next question. Consider the following statements. Aggregate crushing value test is used to assess the resistance against failure of coarse and fine aggregate due to static load. My dear, it is not used for fine aggregate. So, statement 1 is false. Statement 2, aggregate impact value test is used to assess the toughness of coarse and fine aggregate. It is used to find toughness but not for fine aggregate. It is only for coarse aggregate. So, statement 2 also false. 1 is false, 2 also false. Coming to the third statement, soundness test is a durability test of coarse and fine aggregate. My dear, statement 3 is correct. Statement 3 is correct. Statement 3 is correct. So, option A is correct. Okay. Right. Coming to the next one. Bulking is not observed in coarse aggregate. Yes, because surface tension effect in coarser particles is less. So, statement 1 is true. Statement 1 is true. Statement 2, bulking is not observed in clays. Actually, in clays, cohesiveness is dominating than surface tension. So, statement 2 also true. Bulking is mainly observed in sand and silt. Silt, this is not slit, it is silt, okay, with sand showing more bulking than silt. No, it is false. Silt is a finer material than sand, so silt is going to bulk, that is called more change in volume, right, occurs for a silt because particle size is smaller, so surface tension is more. So, statement 3 is false. 1 and 2 are correct. 1 and 2 are correct. Which of these statements are correct? Na? So, only 1 and 2 are correct. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding mortar. As cement content increases, permeability of water through mortar also increases. No. As cement content increases, permeability decreases. Statement 1 is false. Statement 1 is false. Now, you can observe statement 1 is here, false, 1 is here also false. Statement 2, as the cement content increases, strength of mortar increases. True, it is true. As the cement content increases, shrinkage of mortar also increases. True. As cement content increases, unit weight of mortar also increases. True. 2, 3, 4. Option D is correct. Option D is correct. Okay. Right. Coming to the next question. Which of the following statements is not correct regarding fiber reinforced concrete? Options given here, not correct. Not correct. It has a high tensile strength compared to ordinary concrete. Yes, it is true. It is true. Due to fibers, it is true. It can be used in the construction of hydraulic structures. Yes, true. Meshes of thin metal like steel can be used in the preparation of this concrete. No, 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 no. It is false. Glass is used, fibers are used, polymers are used, but thin metal like steel are not used in fiber reinforced concrete. So, C is not correct statement regarding fiber reinforced concrete. So, we want correct option here. Option is C. Option C. Not. So, option C. Next question. Consider the following statements. Rebound number and strength of concrete are directly proportional under similar test conditions. True. True. Rebound number and strength are directly proportional. Quality of concrete and ultrasonic pulse velocity are directly proportional. True. True. Excellent quality concrete has ultrasonic pulse velocity less than 3. No, it is more than 4.5. More than 4.5, then we can say excellent. Less than 3 is not excellent. It is questionable. It is a doubtful. So, statement 3 is false. Statement 3 is false. So, 1 correct, 2 correct. 1 and 2. Option B. Option B. Next question. If cement raw materials have lime saturation factor less than 0.5, then the cement prepared from these raw materials will be unsound. No. If it is more than 1.02, lime saturation factor is more than 1.02, then cement prepared from the raw materials will become unsound. So, statement 1 is false. Statement 2, Lee-Chatelier test can be used to determine the soundness of cement due to excess presence of free lime. True. Lee-Chatelier apparatus is used to determine the soundness of cement, right? Mainly due to lime, it will expand. Free expansion is due to lime. So, statement 2 is true. Statement 1 is false. 2 is true, 1 is false. Option D. Option D is correct. Okay? Right. I hope you answered these questions correctly. All the best.
My dear friends, let's deal with environmental engineering questions asked in your SSC JE mega mock test. Okay, let's discuss this environmental engineering questions. Okay, look at this question. This is the basic question asked from BOD. He's mentioned about a theoretical oxygen demand, right? Very easy question. Without calculator, you can easily solve this question. Okay, see what is the actual thing he is asking. THOD for complete oxidation of 1 gram of glucose. You already aware of this thing, how this glucose C6H12O6 is the glucose formula he has already mentioned. It is upon oxidation, it gives 6CO2 plus 6H2O. This is what oxidation of a glucose, right? He is asking what is an oxygen demand for a complete oxidation of 1 gram of glucose. So, see if you can evaluate, this is 72, 12, 96, right? 96, you will get 180, I think, right? 9, 10, 18, 180 gram. You must remember, instead of evaluating this molecular mass of this glucose in the actual exam, you must remember first, okay, some basic compounds. This is 180 parts, molecular weight of, I am evaluating molecular weight of the compound. 180 parts of a glucose requires how many parts of oxygen? Actually, it is 6 into 32, right? Don't multiply this for ease of calculation, just leave that like that. Let's leave it like that, okay? See, 180 parts of glucose requires how many parts of oxygen? 6 times 32 parts of oxygen is needed. For 1 part of glucose for a complete oxidation, how much oxygen is required? 6 into 32 divided by 180. But here, how much is asking? From 1 gram of complete conversion of complete oxidation of a glucose, how much oxygen is required? 1 part requires these many parts, 1 gram requires these many grams, right? Simple. Now, if you evaluate, it gives 32 divided by 30. This answer is little more than 1. If any option is there, this is 1.49, 1.69. B and C are not going to be your answer. Among A and B, you need to check. 32 divided by 30. If you evaluate, you will get 1.06 something, it is close to 1.07 gram of oxygen is needed. Very easy question without, see, calculation is also very easy, right? 32 by 30 means closely 1, but little more than 1. But here you have 2 options, just evaluate, you can get the 1.07 is the answer, right? This is option A correct. The next question, look at this, this is from quality of water. This is also very regular kind of questions, but you must be very careful with the given thing. See, look at this, TA 120 and TH is 220 as CaCO3 has mentioned. Total alkalinity and hardness is given to you. To reduce NaCH to 0 by soda ash only, after lime removes all CH, required Na2CO3 dose is dash in terms of and milligram per liter as Na2CO3. You must understand in which compound he wants to express your answer, right? Here sodium carbonate terms you need to evaluate. First thing I must understand, to reduce NaCH to 0, what is the NaCH present in the water you must evaluate first. Very easy to evaluate NaCH. You all know the famous expression, right? See, the carbonate hardness is equal to, what is the formula? Minimum of total alkalinity and total hardness. What is the total alkalinity given here? Total alkalinity is 120, total hardness is 220, which is minimum 120. Therefore, you can easily say CH is what? 120. If CH is 120, what is NaCH? Remaining will be NaCH. Total is 220, your carbonate is 120, the remaining NaCH is 100, but you see this is milligram per liter as CaCO3. See, NaCH is milligram per liter as CaCO3, but you needs to estimate the soda ash requirement in milligram per liter as sodium carbonate, right? That is what the formula of soda ash, right? See, this is what 100 milligram per liter is present in the given water, but you needs to reduce that 100 to 0. How much soda ash is required? That is what the question here in terms of Na2CO3. See, I have 100 milligram per liter. I make this 100 to 0. See, let me write this equation. This chemical equation is not important here, but I want to convey one point here. Let me take that. See, you know already CaSO4. What is this CaSO4? You know, non-carbonate hardness means the calcium and magnesium in association with sulfate, chloride, nitrate induces NCH. You all know this is NCH. Do you agree this NCH, right? This, yeah, I wanted to remove this, so I needs to add soda ash, Na2CO3, sodium carbonate. I'm adding. After adding this soda ash, what happens here? CaCO3 precipitate forms plus Na2SO4 forms. Na2SO4. Sodium combines with that sulfate ion, so that entirely whatever the non-carbonate hardness due to sulfate is removed, right? This is what reaction here. My intention to take this equation is no need to write in the exam, not at all required. One thing I need to convey, this non-carbonate hardness, this is what non-carbonate hardness, I wanted to make this as 0. What is the value of NCH present in water? 100 milligram per liter, I make it to 0. If you look at, one part of this reacts with one part of sodium carbonate, that is what soda ash, right? Therefore, you can say 100 milligram per liter, somewhere he has mentioned, yes, non-carbonate hardness given in the present in the water is 100 milligram per liter. Therefore, this 100 milligram per liter needs 100 milligram per liter of sodium carbonate, soda ash, as CaCO3. That is what I wanted to convey. With this chemical equation, this is 1, right? This is 1. One part of NCH needs how many parts of sodium carbonate? Only one part. Therefore, I have 100 parts. Therefore, 100 milligram per liter, 100 milligram per liter of CaSO4, 100 milligram per liter of CaSO4 requires how many parts? 100 milligram per liter of soda ash. Soda ash means sodium carbonate, right? 100 milligram per liter of soda ash. But this 100 milligram per liter as CaCO3, you must understand this, milligram per liter of soda ash as CaCO3, but he is expecting your answer in terms of soda ash compound. Therefore, you can convert any compound in terms of calcium carbonate in terms of any other compound. For that, you need to do, this is the weight in terms of CaCO3, weight of CaCO3 100 milligram per liter, right? Therefore, I am converting in terms of NaCO3, weight is this. What is the equivalent weight of CaCO3? You all know equivalent weight of CaCO3 is 50. Since the molecular weight is 100 by 250. Weight of CaCO3 by equivalent weight of CaCO3 will give you milli equivalents. If you multiply equivalent weight of soda ash, you will get the answer. What is the equivalent weight of soda ash? Equivalent weight of soda ash is 53. Therefore, now earlier this 100 milligram per liter of soda ash is needed for this reduction of this CaSO4, non-carbonate hardness. In terms of CaCO3 it is there, but we need to convert that CaCO3 terms in terms of Na2CO3. You must multiply that with equivalent weight of Na2CO3. That is what I did. You will get 106 milligram per liter as soda ash. That is what Na2CO3. Earlier this weight is required in terms of CaCO3, but we need to express our answer in terms of Na2CO3, right? This is very easy question. Here you need to be careful, not 100. 100 is however not given in the options, right? Therefore, option is A, very easy. The next question. This is one of the interesting question in the design of flocculator. See, a 3-stage flocculator has equal compartments with target total GT value of 90,000 at 20 degree. If last 2 stages operate at 70 seconds and 50 seconds for 6 minutes each, what G required in the first stage operates for 8 minutes to achieve the target value of GT. See, the GT is a dimensionless parameter which plays a vital role in designing flocculator. He has mentioned we have a 3-stage equal compartment flocculator. One stage is having the G value 70, another is having 50, each 6 minutes. What will be the value of G in the first stage if operates at 8 minutes? See, let me show you one simple diagram here. See, you can look at the this blue one. The blue one mentions the value of G, but this let me tell you this blue one, which is the value of G. What is this value? This is what detention time T. This is the combination we need to operate this flocculator. Instead of designing a single flocculator, single tank with the same G and same T, what we need to do is to enhance the flocculation. We need to have more G in the stage 1 and less time, and then G value is gradually reduced, time is gradually increased. To balance this, we will have some dimensionless number GT to operate the tank. To have more efficient flocculation, we must have this stage by stage flocculation, right? You need to operate the G value more at the initial stage, then slowly reducing with increasing the T to balance GT. All the 3 stages he has mentioned the GT value for the entire system, he has mentioned as 90,000. This is what he mentioned. He has given stage 2 and stage 3 G values and T values. He has given already stage 1 T value. You need G value of stage 1. See, what I am doing is stage 1 G1 T1 plus G2 T2. Total 90,000 we need to distribute in each stage. G2 T2 plus G3 T3 equal to 90,000 we are having. I know value of time is 8 minutes. Let me take this value as it is. G1 T1 plus what is G2? 78 minutes, 58 minutes, right? I am taking 6 minutes, right? 6 minutes 60 seconds plus 50 into 6 minutes 60 seconds equal to 90,000, right? Now, if you take, I will get the G1 T1 value equal to 90,000 minus, if you can do this, you will get 43,200. 43,200. You will get 46,800 is the balance value for the G1 T1. This is for first stage, right? 46,800, I guess. You know already the value of T, therefore the value of G1 will give you 46,800 divided by the time is operating in 8 minutes. 1 minute 60 seconds 10. You can take 6 sevens 42 48 8s, right? 780 by 8. If you do this calculation, 8 9s 72 60 8 5s 95 point something. Look at the options. Sorry, let me check again. You'll get 780 by 8, right? 8 9s 72 60 8 7s 56, right? That is 7. 7 is the correct answer. I'm sorry for this. This is 87. Okay, only option is 97.5. Therefore, option is D. Therefore, D option is correct. Very easy. You need to distribute the entire GT value among these various stages given, right? Very easy to evaluate. This is the G1 value. Okay, look at this very simple question. Most conservative indicator for recent fecal contamination in disinfected distribution water is, after disinfection, if you want to distribute to the community, our final check is we must take that water for quality assessment, in which E. coli is present, then it is the fecal contamination. Therefore, the indicator organism is E. coli here. Therefore, C is the correct answer. Now, next, trickling filters achieve nitrification best under. Look at the, if the trickling filters has to treat the water, best nitrification has to achieve. What are the conditions here? Look at this, high organic load and shallow depth. If you are pouring more impure water, like polluted, heavily polluted organic load, if the water having heavily polluted organic load, if you apply that water onto the trickling filter is having the shallow depth, what happens? All the pores are getting clogged. There is no further efficient filtration happens, right? Therefore, option A is not good for best nitrification, right? Look at the second, low organic loading with recirculation to keep biofilm thin and oxygenated. If you are having the recirculation arrangement to the trickling filter, so that it will get properly oxygenated, it will enhance better removal of organic load, right? Nitrification can be enhanced. Look at the other also, zero circulation and thick slime layer. See, if there is no circulation means, if zero circulation means, what happens? See, why do we need circulation in the secondary treatment? See, circulation enhances better removal of organic load. Why? Once the organisms are adapted to that aeration system and they consume the organic load efficiently, if you use the same organisms again to the system, they are already trained. If you can do the recirculation, they can do our job very effectively. How experienced worker will do the task? Very effectively. Same task he can do very effectively. The fresher may not be very fast and effective at the initial timings, right? Therefore, we take that advantage of recirculation. Here, zero recirculation and thin slime layer. Zero recirculation may not be an effective removal, right? Therefore, C is not going to be the correct answer. Therefore, I can remove A, high organic load and shallow depth may not be the good thing, and C also. Look at the last one, purely anaerobic media. If we are having anaerobic conditions in the aerobic treatment, what happens? That endogenous decay. What is endogenous decay? All microorganisms will die due to lack of free oxygen. If lack of free oxygen, they are getting to the endogenous death phase, so that purely anaerobic media may not be good for good nitrification. Therefore, option D is also wrong. The best option among these is option B. Trickling filter achieve nitrification best under low organic loading with recirculation to keep biofilm thin and oxygenated. This is the correct option. You need to understand the things conceptually, right, before answering any particular question. Okay, now next question, very easy question. Which is the correct option here? Secondary air pollutant. You can easily mark C as your answer, right? Sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, carbon monoxide are primary pollutants. The only option is peroxyacetyl nitrate, right? Very easy. Next question. During aerobic composting of MSW by the indoor method, turning of compost is done mainly to, what is turning? Turning means agitating the mixture. You are just mixing. That is what indoor method, aerobic method. Why? He is asking, turning of compost is done mainly to enhance anaerobic decomposition. No, the indoor method itself is an aerobic decomposition. To enhance aerobic decomposition only. This is answer. This option A is wrong. Maintain aerobic and moisture and temperature. This is correct answer. Don't go for that. Read another option also. Prevent pathogenic growth. Why do we prevent pathogenic growth in the composting process? In composting, these microorganisms will consume biodegradable organic matter, right? We enhance the pathogens growth, not prevent. Prevent is the wrong thing, right? C is also wrong. Look at the fourth option. Reduce heavy metal content. This is also wrong. Therefore, the only appropriate answer is, this is not relevant here, right? The only answer is we turn or agitate the mixture in compost process of indoor method, maintain aerobic condition and temperature and moisture, right? This is what correct option, appropriate answer B. Next, see, this is a very common question asked in the all central services. You can look at this same kind of question in the RRB JE also, in SSC JE also, most common thing. They are focusing on this noise standards daytime and nighttime. Let me take just listen to this one small what do we say, just a tip I will give you to remember the values very effectively and efficiently. If you are able to if you followed my last year session of SSC JE in environmental engineering, I taught the same tip. Let me take that session. Those who have missed in the last year, they can follow now, right? See what he is asking, you need to remember, however, noise standards, right? Let me take this question later. Now I am just giving an important tip to remember these noise standards very effectively and efficiently. Look at this noise standards. See, this is known to you, I hope this is known to you, right? See, according to Indian standards, we have 4 different zones. We need to remember these daytime and nighttime noise levels in decibel. That is what he is asking, right? See, in Indian standard, we have 4 different zones. You can able to recall what are the zones in the same order. Mark my words. Same order you need to remember. What is that order? Highly noisy is industry, then commercial, then residential, then silence zone. Very easy to remember these zones in the sequence, right? First thing is highly noisy area is industrial area, then commercial area, then residential area. After that we have a silence zone. This is what order in sequence, right? That is what you need to remember. Daytime here, nighttime here. First thing, remember your Diamond Jubilee. How many years? Diamond Jubilee? Diamond Jubilee is every 75 years, right? Therefore, first thing is 75. I am putting industrial daytime. That is in decibel. All are in decibels. Okay. Now the magic is, you just deduct 10 from this value, you will get the next value. 10 from this value, you will get the next value. But last value 5 only. That is 50, right? To get these daytime values for the corresponding zones, you just remember 75. That is what? Golden Jubilee, right? Sorry, Diamond Jubilee 75. Diamond Jubilee 75, deduct 10, but last 5. I am deducting only 5 from the bottom to get the bottom value. For a nighttime values, top 5, remaining all 10. Top 5, 70, remaining all 10, 65 minus 10. 55, 55 minus 10, 45, 50 minus 10, 40. Very easy to frame this table. In the examination pressure, you may not recall industrial daytime and nighttime 75, 65, 55, more confusion. To avoid that confusion, I have framed this table in particular sequence, right? You must recall these zones in order first. If you able to recall the zones in order, first column dedicated to daytime, second column is dedicated to nighttime, right? First thing you need to remember is only 75, right? That is Diamond Jubilee. 75 if you are able to recall, deduct 10, 10, 10, last bottom 5. To get the bottom value, deduction is 5. To get the top value, deduction is 5, remaining all 10. If you can able to catch this point, the deduction value, most of the time 10 only. Here bottom value 5 deduction, for this top value 5 deduction, remaining all 10. If you able to recall, you can frame this table. If you once frame this table, whatever they ask, nighttime silence zone 40, nighttime residential zone 45, daytime commercial zone 65, easily you can able to write. Need not to write this table like this beautiful table like this in the exam. You can just write at the corner of your rough work, speed, and then you can put these values, right? If you can able to recall this, write this table in the examination pressure, you do not miss anything wrongly, right? In these are very confusing. You may think you can able to recall, but they are very confusing in the examination hall, right? Okay, some people may forget the sequence. What they can do? Now I have another tip. You can remember these zones. If you forgot the zones in the sequence, I have a tip, right? The tip is Indian core sector. What is this tip? Indian core sector. 4 zones, that is you need to remember. At least 4 zones are there, right? Indian CORE sector. 4 in Indian core sector, you need to write like this. Now look at this. Indian, if you remember, industrial, core commercial, residential, sector S silence zone, right? If you can able to recall this code, you can easily write these zones in sequence. You may not forget the zones in sequence. It's highly noisy to silence. Easily recall, right? Industrial, commercial, residential, then silence zone. Sequence is important. If you mix this, everything will be gone, right? Be careful. Now I am getting back to the question. Very easy to answer now, right? If you can able to frame this, very easy. Now what is the question? He is asking the standards only. Industrial, he is asking about noise limits daytime in decibel. Noise limits daytime in the area category, right? Industrial is 75, then commercial 65, then residential 55. 1324 is the correct answer. Option is A. Very easy now. After if you can able to write the table, that question is very easy, right? This is about the important thing. You can easily answer what if any zone, any daytime or nighttime, easily you can get it from this table. Okay. Now this is also an easy question, but you must be very careful in calculating, right? Squares is there, right? Look at this. A spherical particle of dia given, specific gravity given, a temperature given, density and viscosity given. What is the settling velocity? Well known formula, you know already. What is the Stokes law, right? Stokes law says Vs is equal to, settling velocity is equal to Gd square into S minus 1 by 18 nu. 18 nu is the kinematic viscosity. Sir, viscosity is given. Sorry, density also given. You can take kinematic viscosity. Value of G for sorry, for ease of calculation I am taking 10. D value 0.5 mm means 0.5 into 10 to the power of minus 3 square is the D value. S minus 1, 2.65 is the gravity, specific gravity given, 1.65 minus 1. I am taking the calculating. Okay, 18 into kinematic viscosity means viscosity by density. What is viscosity? Viscosity 0.001 viscosity Pascal second. This is in units only. By density, I am taking the density here 10 cube, right? This is the thing. See, if you can evaluate, very careful here, 10 into 0.5 square, 0.5 square, 10 to the power of minus 6. Here 10 cube, 1 by 1000, right? 0.0001. 10 to the power of 6, 10 to the power of minus 6. You can take cancel into 1.65 divided by 18. Now you can further evaluate 10 into 0.5 square means 0.25. 0.25 is 1 by 4, right? Therefore I am taking 4 here. 4 into 18, 1 by 4, right? 0.5 square into 1.65, 165 by 100 by 100. Okay, let's deal with this. Now 18 to 72, right? 165 by 72 into 10 into 10. Now look at this. 72 means 72 threes doesn't work. 72 twos, right? Therefore 2. If you evaluate 0.225, you will get this answer. 0.0 you cannot, 0 also correct, wrong. 2.2 is not, you don't get 2.2. 0.225 is the correct answer. Here 2.25 you will get. By 10 is there, 0.225. Therefore the correct answer is option B. Don't solve from this. You can easily look at the options and you can easily identify which option is correct, okay, among the options. Okay, now this question, look at this. Which of the following are functions of a grit chamber in a wastewater treatment? What are the functions of grit chamber in wastewater treatment? Look at this. Removal of heavy inorganic solids such as sand and gravel is the function of grit chamber, right? Grit chamber is the long narrow channel which removes organic, inorganic grit, sand and silt, gravel. Yes, one is true. Prevention of aberration and damage to pumps and mechanical equipment. After removing that, It enhances the efficiency of pumps and any mechanical equipment, right? If at all not removed, it interferes with this. Therefore, this is the function of grit, this is the also function of grit. Functions of grit chamber, it needs to identify. Removal of dissolved organic pollutants, no. A grit channel is aimed to remove inorganic, organic grit particle, heavier particles, right? We just operate 2 seconds, narrow channel, only 2 seconds is the detention time. Dissolved organic cannot be removed. Therefore, option 3 is wrong. Reduction of grit accumulation in pipelines and sludge digesters, right? Accumulation, it prevents the accumulation, grit channel, that it is also a function. Therefore, 1, 2, 4 correct. Which option is correct? Option is A. Easy question. If you can understand what is grit channel, you can understand this question very easily. Next, I think this is the last question in the environmental engineering questions. The major health hazard of exposure of CO is due to its tendency to form carboxyhemoglobin with blood. Once this hemoglobin reacts with the carbon dioxide present in the bloodstream, it forms this complex. This complex prevents the passage of oxygen, right? Therefore, oxygen carrying capacity of the blood is greatly reduced after the formation of this complex. Therefore, the correct option is option B. This is about environmental engineering, right? Very easy questions. If you can able to solve some questions, they are little bit of calculation, you can get out of 11 out of 11 easily in the environmental engineering, right? I wish you all the best for your SSC JE. Thank you.
Hi friends, let us see the questions on hydrology, engineering hydrology. The first question is runoff coefficient depends on dash. We know pretty well R is equal to K into P. Runoff depth is equal to runoff coefficient multiplied with precipitation. So in conversion from precipitation to runoff, what factors will control? Type of the soil will control. If the slope of the area is faster, K will be higher. If the vegetation is more, K value is less. So correct answer D, all of the above is the correct answer. For the question, D option is the right option. Let us see the second question. Hartnell's infiltration model. We know, my dear friends, Hartnell's infiltration curve. Ft is equal to Fc plus F0 minus Fc into e power minus Kt. This one is called Hartnell's infiltration equation. So he said Hartnell's infiltration model is used to describe what? How the decreasing rate of infiltration with the time will take place. This is the correct option, because as the time increases, e power minus, as the time increases, this function goes on decreasing. You are going to get the graph like this. This will clearly indicate how with increase in time, the rate of infiltration goes on decreasing. Option C is the right option. Which distribution is commonly used in flood frequency analysis? Even though log normal distribution and Gumbel distribution are used more commonly because we want to study the flood with a given return period, that's why we use only Gumbel's analysis. We know pretty well xt is equal to x bar plus kt into sigma. This formula is the basic formula known as Gumbel's formula to study the flood frequency analysis. Dear friends, C is the right option for this question. These are the questions on engineering hydrology. Let us continue the questions on irrigation engineering. The method of growing crops on ridges running on the sides of water ditches. Growing crops on ridges. Simply answer for that is check irrigation. The duty of irrigation water is minimum at dash, maximum at the entry of the plant, minimum at the head of the main canal. At the head of the main canal is the correct answer. Here the duty value is minimum. Plant location duty is maximum. Head of the field channel slightly less than maximum. head of the major distributary slightly more than minimum duty. Duty is minimum at main canal. Frequency of irrigation depends on, we know the formula for frequency of irrigation, dW divided by Cu. So dW is nothing but S into D into Fc minus OMC whole divided by Cu. So soil specific gravity, crop root zone depth, climate Fc and OMC, and soil, crop and climate, all the three. Therefore, this is fertilizers will not control. Correct option is C is the right option for that. Bly's theory as applied to the design of weirs and barrages on permeable foundations will account for only hydrostatic forces. In a Lacey's canal, in alluvial soils, velocity 2 meters per second, F value 1, hydraulic mean depth formula, R is equal to 2.5 V square divided by F. 2.5 into 2 square by 1. Answer for the problem is 10 meters is the right option for the question. Option C is the right option. For usual values of permissible compressive stress and the specific gravity of concrete 2.4, high concrete dam is the one whose height exceeds 88 meters. 88 meters is the right answer. If the head over a Ogi spillway, for Ogi spillway, Q is proportional to H power 3 by 2, Q1 by Q2 is equal to H1 by H2 whole power 3 by 2. Q1 is 100, Q2 value I don't know, H1 is 100, increased by 300, 100 will become 300, 100 plus 300, 400, whole power 3 by 2. Hundreds will get cancelled, 1 by 4 is 1 by 2 square, whole power 3 by 2, that is 1 by 8, 100 by Q2, 1 by 8, 100 by 800, 100 will get cancelled, Q1 is 100, Q2 is 800, so discharge will increase by 700% is the right answer. 700% is the right answer for the given question. This is the answer for this question. These are the questions on irrigation engineering. Good luck to you.
Hi everyone, welcome to ACE. I am Mallikarjun. Here I am going to teach structural analysis subject SSC JE mega mock test. Okay, structural analysis subject. Right. See the question. The degree of static indeterminacy of a rigid jointed space frame given. Okay, what is the formula? What is the DS? 6m plus r minus 6j, right? Formula to find the static indeterminacy for rigid jointed space frame. Then option 6m plus r minus 6j. So option D is correct. So only one question. Thank you.
Now let us see the solutions for the given questions one by one. This is the first question we are having. The diameter of the shaft B is twice that of shaft A. We are having two shafts, A and B. So if I am taking them, shaft A and shaft B, diameter of shaft B, it is given as 2 times the diameter of shaft A. Okay. Both the shafts having same length, LB, it should be equal to LA. Good. And ours having the same material. So both are having the same material, means G value is the same for both. shear modulus. Okay, if the both are subjected to the same torque, yes, applied torque is also same on both shafts, then we require the ratio of angle of twist, theta A to theta B. Straightforward question it is. So, from torsion formula we know, from torsion formula, theta, it should be equal to TL upon GJ. Na? Use this one. We require relation or ratio A to B, theta A to theta B. TL upon GJ for shaft A to the TL upon GJ for shaft B. As the torque is same, strike off this one. Length is also same for both shafts. Material is also same for both shafts. And as we know, J, it is pi by 32 d raised to 4. So, from this, J is directly proportional to d raised to 4. I am using this condition. This is JB divided by JA. I can speak like DB divided by DA to the power 4. DB, it is 2 times DA divided by DA whole to the power 4. 16, no? That is the required answer. 16 is the required answer. So, option D is correct for this question. Option D. Hope it is clear to you. Now, let us see these questions from slopes and deflections. So, here I am using a method of superposition to solve this question. That is easy for us. A loaded cantilever beam is shown below. The maximum deflection in the beam. So, maximum deflection in case of cantilever is available at a free end. How the beam it is getting deflected due to the partial UDL. So, from here to here, it is a circular arc. From here to here, it is a inclined straight line. We know it. Maximum deflection is available at here. It occurs at a B. That is a max. We require this one, del B. How I am taking this one? Just if I am projecting this, this is a del C. Let me take from here to here, it is a del C, and let me take from here to here, you can say this is H units. And we know theta C is equal to theta B, being it is a straight line. This is a right angle triangle. Now, I can consider this is the standard case. First, you take this into the consideration. My target is to get del B. First, I am taking from this one tan theta C. It should be nothing but H divided by CB. Being theta is very small, I can take tan theta C is almost equal to theta C. My requirement is theta C. Theta C. First, initially theta C, it should be equal to H by BC. But by knowing theta C, I may get the H value. H equal to theta C multiplied by BC. This is the H we are having. Already we discussed this in a classroom. Now, finally, how I am getting the del B, that is maximum, del C plus H. What is H value I am getting? H value, if I am taking theta C into length of BC part. Length of BC part. So, my first interest is finding del C. How I am getting the del C? Use this part. If I am taking that part, AC part only I am considering. I can take A and C. The beam it is getting deflected something like this. So, this is del C and this is theta C we are having. This is the standard case now. So, omega how much we are having? Omega it is given as 8 kilonewton per meter. L it is given as for AC length 2 meters. AC length. So theta c, if I am taking omega L cube divided by 6a for the standard case. Okay. Omega how much? It is 8. L value 2 cube divided by 6a. Good. Then del c, omega L raised to 4 divided by 8a. Downward deflection it is. Omega is 8. 2 to the power 4 divided by 8ei. This is nothing but 2 to the power 4 divided by ei we are having. Good. Now come to the del b. Del b, if I am taking del c plus theta c into bc, length of bc. Del c how much we are having? 2 raised to 4 upon ei plus theta c 8 into 2 cube divided by 6ei into bc length is 2. 2 to the power 4 divided by ei, you can take it as common. Then it is 1 plus 8 divided by 6, na? Obviously 8 divided by 6. 2 to the power 4 upon ei into 6 plus 8, 14 divided by 6. 2 3s are 2 7s are 16 into 7 divided by 3i. That is the final answer. 16 7s are 112 divided by 3i. This is the maximum deflection we are observing at the free end of the given cantilever. See the options: 112 divided by 3i. 112 divided by 3i. Yeah, option D. 112 divided by 3i we are observing at the D. Answer is option D for this question. Hope it is clear to you. Let's move to the another solution. Yes, this is from columns. The slenderness ratio of a free stable column of effective length 3 meters. So effective length already mentioned 3 meters, that I can speak in terms of millimeters. Okay. Diameter of the column it is given as 30 millimeters. What we require? Slenderness ratio. How to get the slenderness ratio? It is the ratio of effective length of the column to the minimum radius of gyration. Already LE is known, my target is K-min. K-min, how I am getting? Root over I-min divided by area. Being it is a circular section, I-min it is pi upon 64 d raised to 4 divided by area pi upon 4 d square root over d divided by 4, na? D divided by 4. Okay, d divided by 4. What is the d value? 30 divided by 4 is the final thing, K-min value. Once I have K-min value, focus on SR, slenderness ratio. LE how much it is given? 3000 millimeter. This is millimeters. 3000 millimeter divided by 30. 4 I am writing it here. This one is getting cancelled. 400. 400. There is no units. Slenderness ratio is 400 for this condition. Which option is correct? Option D is correct for this question. Hope it is clear to you. Now coming to the next question. This is from bending stress analysis. Euler-Bernoulli's assumption in the theory of simple bending is, Bernoulli's assumption is related to which one? That is asking clearly. The material obeys Hooke's law. Yes, it is one of the assumption in simple bending theory, but it is not related to the Bernoulli's assumption. Bernoulli's assumption is related to the strain variation. We know it. So this is not correct. Second one, the value of Young's modulus is same for beam material in tension as well as compression. Yes, it is related to the homogeneous nature of a material of the beam, which is having homogeneous and isotropic behavior. If the material is having homogeneous and isotropic behavior, then material properties are same at each and every point in all possible directions. The elastic limit is not exceeded. Yes, it is nothing but related to the loading condition. Obviously, loading on the beam must be within the proportionality limit. The transverse section of the beam, which is a plane before bending, remain plane even after bending perfectly. This is correct. So Euler-Bernoulli's assumption is related to the strain variation, something like this. For example, if I am having the cross-sectional planes, these are the cross-sectional planes which are having a plane surface and they are 90 degrees to the axis of the beam. Before loading, once I am applying the load, bending load, if you are observing, you do not find any distortion in the cross-sectional planes because that bending, pure bending, it is causing only dimensional changes. This is the deformed position of the beam. Again, if you are observing, yes, it is having a plane surface even after bending also. It is giving only dimensional changes. The reason? Because of absent of shear force. Yes, the cross-sectional planes are remains having the plane surface even after bending also. Yes, this is related to the Euler-Bernoulli assumption. So, option D is correct, but here options are missing. So, option D is correct for this one. Hope it is clear to you. Right, let's move on to another thing. This is a straightforward question. The elongation produced in a tapered bar with end diameter D and D to the tensile or compressive axial load is proportional to the elongation is proportional to the given section. It is a tapered section with a circular cross section. Suppose one end, if it is having a D units and other end it is having small d unit, it is subjected to the axial force, either tensile force or compressive force. So, in case of a tapered circular bar, the elongation formula, if you recall, that is 4PL upon pi E d1 d2, that is nothing but d dVr. So, in this case, del is directly proportional to the 1 upon dd. So, look at the options we are having. Yes, again this is, you are observing at number D. Option D is correct for this question. Hope it is clear to you.
Hi everyone, welcome to ACE. I am Mallikarjun. Here I am going to teach SSC JE Steel test series questions. Right. First question. In a laced column, the lacing system should be designed primarily to. Students, lacing members are designed to resist transverse shear force, right? How much transverse shear force? 2.5% of column load, but designed to resist transverse shear force. Okay, so resist the shear force due to transverse loading, then option C is correct. Next question. In a plate girder, the function of the intermediate stiffeners is to, okay, intermediate transverse stiffeners are used to prevent the web buckling, right? Yes or no? This is due to pure shear. So, reduce the shear buckling tendency of the web. Yes. Okay, then option A is correct. So, intermediate transverse stiffeners improves the buckling strength of web due to shear. Next question. The strength of bolt is taken as strength of bolt, that is VDB only, right? So, VDB is smaller of VDSB, VDPB, and if it is exist, TDB, if exist. When it is exist, subjected to tension. Okay, right, what is given? Shear strength of bolt, yes, this is VDSB, and tensile strength of bolt, okay, this is TDB and this is VDSB. Okay, next, bearing strength of bolt, yes, this is VDPB, and tensile strength of plate, this is wrong. It is not plate, right? These three are bolt strength only, right? Then eliminate option B. Okay, next, shear strength of bolt, yes, VDSB, and bearing strength of bolt, VDPB. Okay, and bearing strength of bolt, this is VDPB, and tensile strength of bolt, this is TDB. Okay, students, here when it is when we have to consider TDB, if bolts are subjected to tension. But in the question, did he mention anywhere? No. Okay. So if it is a lap joint, butt joint, bolts are subjected to shear and bearing only, right? But in anchor connection, bolts are subjected to only tension. I given these examples. Okay. But students, here there is no combination of these three, right? Okay. But remember, without bearing, will shear exist? Without bearing, shear won't exist. It means shear and bearing both should be present. Shear and bearing both should be present. In which option both shear and bearing is present? Okay. So shear strength of bolt and bearing strength of bolt. Okay. So option C is correct. Actually, TDB also present when if bolt is subjected to tension. In the same option, if you give 3, yes, 3 are correct. Okay. But here this will consider as a lap joint, butt joint. Okay. Right. Then option C is correct. Next, this slenderness ratio of column is defined as, this is KL by radius of gyration only, right? This is the effective length and this is the radius of gyration. Okay. Ratio of effective length to least radius of gyration, yes, A is correct. Okay. This is not actual length and not cross sectional area, and this is completely opposite. Okay. Then option A is correct. So these are the questions from design of steel structure. Thank you.
Hello friends, so let us try some questions from surveying here. Look at this. A 20-meter chain is found to be too short by 0.05 meters, then the correction required per chain length is dash. Okay, so see here guys, my chain is too short by 0.05, then how much correction I should give per chain length? So my 20-meter chain is not 20 meters, it is less than that, right? I need to make it to 20 meters, right? So I need to give what? A positive correction of how much? This value. This much is the amount of correction I should give, right? The length of the chain is short. To make it to correct value, I should give plus 0.05 meters. That's it guys. Right, next question here. The staff reading at point A is 1.525 and at point B is 2.345 meters. The difference in elevation is dash. So they are asking, right, is it rising or falling? So imagine that this is how my instrument is. This is my line of sight. What is the meaning of staff reading is 1.525? Point A is 1.525 meters below the line of sight. That is where point A is. And where is my point B? It is 2.345 meters below the line of sight. Right. It is 2.345 meters below the line of sight. So this is where my point B is guys. So tell me guys, what is the difference in elevation? You can just take the difference here, 2.345 minus 1.525, this will be 0, this will be 2, right? 13 minus 5 would be what? 8. So 0.820. But tell me guys, when I am traveling from A to B, how is my ground? My ground is falling, right? Clearly you can see. You take this difference, this staff reading minus this staff reading, it will be a negative value. The negative value just indicates that the ground is falling by how much? 0.82 meters. Okay guys, right. Look at this next question here. Which of the following is used to measure the horizontal angles accurately? So you need to tell me which instrument is measuring angles very accurately. Compass, dumpy level, plane table, theodolite. This is not for measuring angles, so this is also not for measuring angles. Out of this compass and theodolite, who is more accurate? Theodolite is more accurate. Right guys. Next, the instrument, which instrument is used to measure areas of irregular shaped boundaries? So tell me guys, to calculate areas of irregular shaped boundaries from my maps and plans, what is the instrument that I use? Theodolite is measuring angles, cross staff is also not used, pantograph also not used for measuring areas. The answer is what? Planimeter guys. Okay, yes. Which of the following is a permanent adjustment of a theodolite? Tell me guys, it's leveling a permanent adjustment? No, it's a temporary adjustment. At every instrument setup, I have to do it. Do I need to centering at every instrument setup? Yes, that's again temporary adjustment. Adjustment of horizontal axis? Yes, that is a permanent adjustment. Right, elimination of parallax is also a temporary adjustment. Okay, so the only permanent adjustment here is adjusting the horizontal axis, right? Next up, look at this, guys. The magnetic bearing of a line is 60 degree. What is a true bearing if the declination is 2 degree east? So remember the formula, guys. True bearing is equal to magnetic bearing plus or minus declination. Plus or minus declination. Plus sign I'll use for eastern declination, minus sign I'll use for western declination. So what is the magnetic bearing, guys? It is 60 degrees. What is the declination, guys, here? Plus 2 degree. Why plus 2 degree? Because it is eastern declination. So what is my answer, guys? My answer would be 62 degrees. It is nothing but option A, guys. Okay, now let me tell you one thing. Right, now this particular angle is given in whole circle bearings. What if it was given in reduced bearings? Please don't do the calculations in reduced bearings. Okay, guys, you need to convert that angles into what? Whole circle bearings, and then you have to do it. Okay, please keep that in mind. Right, next up, right, the radius of curvature of bubble tube is 10 meter and the length of one division is 2 mm. What is the angular value of one division? So they are asking you for sensitivity, and look at this, guys, they want the answer in seconds. So tell me, what is the formula for sensitivity? It will be 206265 into L by R. I should get the answer in seconds. Okay, so this is the formula that we have to use, because the radius R is given as 10 meter and length of each division is given as 2 mm. So let us just substitute that, guys. So 206265 into 2 mm. Okay, so L is in mm. What is the R value, guys? 10 meters. So it will be what? 10 into 1000, right? Mm. Correct now. This mm and this mm will cancel. So you see 3 plus 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points will come here. So if I multiply that, this will be approximately equal to what? 20.62 into 2 will be approximately equal to 41 seconds. Right, approximately equal to how much, guys? 41 seconds. So the closest option here is option A. You can select it. Okay, so if you multiply it, 2 into 20.62, so it will approximately come equal to 41 seconds, right? Therefore, you can select the answer as option A, guys. Okay, now? Yes. Okay, look at this. In chain surveying, which is the instrument used to set out right angles, ranging rods are used to find intermediate point. Plumb bob is used for centering and checking verticality. Alidade is not used in chain surveying. It is used in plane table surveying. The answer is nothing but cross staff. Okay, guys? Yes. Now, let us look at this. Which error is caused due to incorrect chain length? So, incorrect chain matlab, the chain is either too short or the chain is either too long. Either of these two happen, we get a cumulative error. We'll get a systematic or a cumulative error. So, cumulative compensating random instrumental error. The answer is cumulative error, guys. Okay. Yes. Right. So, that's it, guys. So, these are some questions we have from survey. Thank you and all the best.
We'll take few questions on transportation. Look at this first question. Indian Road Congress IRC is established in the year of. It's a very standard question, very direct memory oriented question. The answer is 1934. IRC formed in 1934. Look at the next question. Stopping side distance is given as 200 meter. Then intermediate side distance. ISD is twice of stopping side distance. So ISD is equal to 2 into 200, nothing but 400 meter. Come to the next question. Ideal transition curve as per Indian Road Congress. For roads, ideal transition curve is spiral. For railway, ideal transition curve is cubic parabola. For Indian Road Congress, for roads, ideal transition is spiral. Answer is America. Dowel bars are provided in rigid pavement across expansion joint. It is a direct question. Dowel bars are provided across expansion joint. Come to this question. Flexible pavement design as per IRC 37 is based on modified CBR approach? Answer is option A. Come to the next question. Time gap between two successive vehicles is 10 seconds per vehicle. Time headway is 10 seconds per vehicle. Q is equal to 3600 by time headway. So 3600 by 10, nothing but 360 vehicle per hour. So answer is option B. A simple question, direct forward question. Without calculator, you can solve it. Come to the next question. Stop sign is octagonal in shape as per IRC. Stop sign is octagonal. Aggregate crushing test is used to determine strength of aggregate. Aggregate crushing test is to determine compressive strength or strength of the road aggregate. Bitumen is obtained from fractional distillation of petroleum or crude oil. Fraction by fraction separation of crude oil gives the bitumen as the last end product. Answer is option C. Come to this question, which of the following statements are true with respect to the highways? Reaction time for SSD is 2.5 seconds. So it is a true statement. Quotient of lateral friction is 0.35 to 0.4 is false. Actually, quotient of lateral friction is 0.15. Quotient of longitudinal friction is 0.35 to 0.4. So statement 2 is false. Rate of change of radial acceleration on horizontal curve is 0.5 to 0.8 meter per second cube. It is true. So 1 and 3 are the correct statement. So answer is option C. Now coming to the next question, desirable length of overtaking zone as per IRC is 5 times of OSD. Desirable length is 5 times of OSD. Minimum overtaking zone length is 3 times of OSD. Desirable length of overtaking zone is zone length. Desirable length of overtaking zone is 5 times of OSD. It is option B. So these are the questions from transportation. Thank you.
Hello students, I welcome you to SSC JE mock test questions, fluid mechanics. The first question over here is, if water is flowing through a pipe of diameter 8 cm under 40 Newton per centimeter square of pressure with a velocity of 3 meter per second, what will be the kinetic head? Now the kinetic head is basically V square by 2G. So V square divided by 2G. V is equal to 3, so 3 square divided by G is 10 according to the question. This has to be equal to 0.45 meter. So answer is 0.45 meter of water, which is option D, 0.45 meter of water. Moving further. The next question is, Francis turbine belongs to what category? We all know Francis and Kaplan both are reaction turbines. Pelton is an impulse turbine. Next question over here. For a flow, the velocity components are given by u is equal to lambda xy square minus x cube y square and v is equal to x square y cube minus 3y cube. What is the value of lambda for the possible flow which includes steady incompressible nature? Now you see, for the flow to be steady and incompressible, it has to satisfy the continuity equation dou u by dou x plus dou v by dou y has to be equal to how much? 0. Now dou u by dou x over here has to be equal to lambda y square minus 3x square y square plus dou v by dou y is equal to 3x square y square minus 9y square. This has to be equal to how much? 0. Now from here you see second and third term will cancel off. For first and fourth to cancel off, lambda must assume the value of 9. So the correct answer over here is option D, lambda is equal to 9. Next question over here. Bernoulli equation represents total energy per unit of certain quantity. That quantity is what quantity? The standard form of Bernoulli equation is energy per unit weight form. That is why we get each term in the form of head. So answer is option D, energy per unit weight. Next question. The relationship between atmospheric pressure, gauge pressure and absolute pressure is given by. What is the relationship over here? Let us see. We can say P absolute is equal to P atmospheric plus P gauge. P absolute is equal to P atmospheric plus P gauge. This is the actual form. There can be a plus or minus over here, but even if it is plus, it is acceptable. Now, if you observe, P absolute is equal to P atmospheric plus P gauge, option B is giving the correct answer. Moving further. The next question is saying, pressure in terms of meter of oil, specific gravity 0.8, equivalent to 4.5 meter of water is how much? Now, pressure over here is equal to gamma oil multiplied to H oil has to be equal to gamma water multiplied to H water. So now, H of oil has to be equal to gamma water divided by gamma oil multiplied to H water. So this is equal to 1 by 0.9, because we know gamma ratio is as per the specific gravity ratio, and this over here is 4.5 given in the question. You see, 4.5 meter of water. So from here, the head of oil is equal to how much? It is equal to 5 meter. The head of oil over here is 5 meter of oil. The correct answer over here has to be option B. Next question over here, the question is saying metacentric height is given as a distance between. You see, metacentric height is GM over here. It is a distance between centroid or center of gravity of the body and metacenter. Center of gravity of the body and metacenter. First option itself is giving the correct answer. Option A, center of gravity and metacenter. Next question over here. The question is saying two tanks A and B of same height are filled with water. The volume of tank A is 10 times the volume of tank B. What can you say regarding the pressure PA and PB at the bottom of the tanks A and B respectively? Now you see, they are having same height, completely filled and with water. So gamma A is equal to gamma B and HA is equal to HB. You see, in both of them, you are filling up to the same height and you are filling with the same fluid. Now we know pressure has to be equal to gamma times height. Since gamma is same in both cases, H is same in both cases, the pressure at A and B is supposed to be same. So this means pressure is independent of volume, it is independent of cross section. It only depends on the depth of fluid column and the property of fluid, that is gamma. Moving further, the characteristic of ideal fluid is, an ideal fluid is supposed to have these properties. Mu is equal to tau is equal to 0. Alpha is equal to 0. Bulk modulus is infinite. Surface tension is equal to 0. All these are the properties of ideal fluid. Mu is equal to 0, tau equal to 0 means it is frictionless. Alpha is equal to 0 means it is incompressible. And you can see we are having this option over here, option D, which is frictionless and incompressible. Option D is the correct answer. Next question over here. This question is saying the height of water in a vessel is H. The vessel wall of width B is at an angle theta. The net force exerted is equal to how much? Now for the net force exerted, we have to use a formula. Force is equal to gamma into area into H bar. Now you see, H bar of AB is lying exactly at H by 2. What about area over here? Area is equal to this length L multiplied to width. Area is equal to length multiplied to B. We know this height is H over here. Length L has to be equal to H by cos theta. So area is equal to HB divided by cos theta. So from here I can say the value of force is equal to rho G multiplied to HB divided by cos theta multiplied to H by 2. that is equal to rho g multiplied to h square b into secant theta divided by 2. Rho g h square b secant theta by 2, rho g h square b secant theta. This has to be 2 over here. Option C will be correct, provided it is 1 by 2. Next question. These were the questions from the subject of fluid mechanics. I hope the questions were clear to all of you. Thank you.
Hello dear students, here we see the key for estimating, costing and valuation. For SSC JE questions, we see the key. Drawings, first question given, drawings, comma, designs are a part of options given, supplementary estimate, approximate estimate, detailed estimate. Drawings and designs we will give only in detailed estimate. So, option, wait a minute, option C is correct, option C is correct, okay. Then coming to the next question, pick up the correct statement from the following. Given 4 options. A, the cost per unit at which the item can be procured from the open market at a given time is called market value. Yes, it is true. It is true. Additional supervising staff engaged at work site is called work charge or work charged establishment. Yes, it is correct. Detailed specifications specify quantities, qualities and the proportions of materials to be used for a particular item. Yes, it is also true. So, A correct, B correct, C correct. Option D given all the above. Option D correct here. Option D is the answer. Next question. The volume is measured correct to the nearest. My dear, volume is measured up to 0.01 cubic meter. Up to 0.01 cubic meter. The excavation exceeding 1.5 meter in width and 1.5 meter width and 10 square meter in plan area with a depth not exceeding 30 centimeter, is itemed as excavation, cutting, surface dressing, surface excavation. My dear, for the given dimensions, I can say that it is a surface excavation. Surface excavation. Next question. For a 12 mm thick cement plastering 1:6 on 100 square meter new brick work, quantity of cement required. How do you estimate quantity? First of all, you need to find the volume. Volume equals to area into length or area into thickness. Here area will be given 100 square meter into thickness of plastering is 12 mm. Let us write in meters, 12 by 1000, 12 by 1000. So, 2 zeros gone, 1.2 you will get, okay. Volume is 1.2 cubic meter. Now, dry volume is 33% more than wet volume. It is a wet volume. Dry volume we want, that is 33% more than wet volume. Now substitute 1.33 into 1.2. You will get something here. Okay. Then with what proportion we are using? 1:6. So total parts will be 1 plus 6, that equals to 7. Now we want to find only the quantity of cement. So how much part of cement we are using? 1 part. What is the total quantity? 7. So 1 upon 7 will give the volume of cement into this volume. This volume is 1.33 into 1.2. Okay. You will get the volume nearly 0.274, nearly 0.274 cubic meter. Option B correct. Next question. The measurement is not made in square meters in case of, my dear, DPC measured in square meters, dam proof course, formwork measured in square meters, concrete, Jeffries also the same square meters only, but RC charges are measured in cubic meters. Cubic meters. The question is not made in square meters. Option D correct. Option D. Okay. Next question. Calculate the capitalized value of a building having annual rent of Rs 20,000 and the highest rate of interest is 5%. How do you get the capitalized value? Capitalized value of building is, what is the rent we are taking? 20,000. And what is the rate of interest? 5%. 5% means you take 0.05. Simplify this value, you will get 4 lakhs. 4 lakhs. Option D is correct. Option D is correct. Okay, right. Next question. Okay, next question. The amount paid by the contractor to the organization before getting the work order as the guarantee of execution of the work as per the contractor is known as initial amount given to the contractor for the commitment of the work is called security deposit. Option A is correct. Okay. Next question. Next question. For contract to be valid, parties to the contract should be competent. B. Proper proposal and its acceptance. C. Free consent of parties involved in the agreement. D. Lawful consideration. Yes, all points will be covered in this. Option D is correct. I hope you have picked up the correct answers. Cross check once. Okay, all the best.